Paris, the most visited city in Europe. Today, I'll show you how this affects the city and take you to the most famous sites.
This is my very first time in the city of Paris, and I'm obviously excited to see the Eiffel Tower, the Montmartre district, the River Seine. I will also notice what sustainability means for this city, the city as big as Paris is.
Of course, when in Paris, you have to see the Eiffel Tower. It's a global cultural icon visited by about 7 million people every year. If you want to go up to the top, you should make a reservation online. I tried to make a reservation in advance, but online tickets were sold out. So I have to queue and wait. Built at the end of the 19th century as the centerpiece for the World Fair in 1889, it was originally intended as a temporary exhibit. But luckily, it was saved from destruction. The reason it survived? The Eiffel Tower became a giant radio transmitter and later a tourist attraction. You can spend hours on the tower. There is a gourmet restaurant up here in addition to a snack bar and a souvenir store. Obviously, you should go to the top, the third floor, with a viewing platform and a champagne bar.
This is just wonderful. I've spent 5 hours today inside Eiffel Tower. Was it worth it? Yes. I waited for 3 hours in the queue. Was it worth it? Yes. Why? Because this is one of the most visited monuments in the world, but it is also a symbol of triumph. Triumph of human desire, triumph of human aspiration, and of course, the triumph of engineering.
The second most popular attraction for tourists is the Louvre, a former royal palace and an art museum since 1793.
If you're really excited to visit the Louvre Museum, you can do so. But please, be aware and do not plan on Tuesdays because the museum remains closed.
Its architecture is impressive even from the outside. With 19.4 million international visitors, Paris was the most populous city in Europe in 2022. Montmartre is one of the most famous quarters in the city centre. On the summit of the hill sits the Basilica of Sacré-Cœur. When the weather is nice, it's teeming with tourists. You also have a great view of Paris from here.
Tourism authorities in Paris face a dilemma. They're obviously thrilled to be one of the most visited cities in the world. But this also means that they feel the need to lead the crowds away from the hotspots of over-tourism, such as this place in Montmartre.
Montmartre came to fame at the end of the 19th century because many artists lived and worked in this quarter. And it is also the setting of several movies. There are plenty of more offbeat and less crowded places to find. The question is, how? I'll try walking. With the help of the app, Paris Eco Walks. Here, you will find tour suggestions for the more secluded parts of the city away from the crowds.
I've actually found beehives. They're right there. I mean, I can see them. It's right there.
What is striking in Paris is the dense traffic. But the city is trying to create more spaces for pedestrians and cyclists. Some streets on the banks of the Seine are also car-free.
The renaturation of the river and making Paris more sustainable and eco-friendly is obviously a long-term project. But there are changes and things are happening that we can see and enjoy. For instance, this side of the river bank where I'm standing at the moment, this used to be a motorway, can you imagine? Since 2013, this has been reserved only for pedestrians and cyclists.
Additionally, the riverbank was landscaped with gardens on floating pontoons. When floods threaten, everything can be dismantled within 24 hours. A small oasis in the middle of the often noisy metropolis.
The city of Paris will be more eco-friendly in the coming years. Yes, because the city has announced that there will be 3 swimming pools in the river Seine by 2025 and they will be available to Parisians and also to the tourists.
As you can see, the park on the Seine is embraced by tourists and Parisians alike.
What is the best thing about being in Paris? What do you like the most about the city?
I feel the environment of the people, you are free to walk in the city, this is something good, the transport is good. So you have the possibility to use bicycles, to walk, and that makes a better environment for me.
I think Paris scores pretty high because it's got lots of parks and lots of ways of escaping the traffic if you look for them, if you know where to find them.
Cities are for people. Us, we need our space and we need nature as well. So,
I mean, Paris already uses the river pretty well, like how people like to just hang out in the edge of the river, drinking wine or just having fun with their friends. And if on top of that they will make the river swimmable, let's say it, I think that should be an example that most cities should follow for now and for the future.
I think it's very pleasant for tourist people to walk here, to see the monuments and everything in a different way, without car and everything. So it's really nice for them, and I think it gives a better image of the city, basically.
The Seine riverbank in Paris, with its historic buildings, has been a UNESCO World Heritage Site since 1991, and that also includes the numerous bridges.
Iconographic, romantic and very typical of Paris. The bridges over the river Seine. This one here is one of the most famous, Pont Neuf.
The oldest surviving bridge over the Seine was completed in 1607. Bistros are as much a part of Paris as the Eiffel Tower. In the north of Montmartre, Stephanie Marty runs La Timbale. She's committed to preserving the small, inexpensive restaurants in the city center and to greater sustainability.
The age in which we're living right now, it's the age of climate change and environment is changing around us. How is bistro culture responding to that?
Bistro, generally, of course, we all are responsible of the global warming. We take care about the energy. We have green energy, renewable energy. And also we are member of an association that is calling Bon pour le climat, good for the climate, and they have a calculator. We calculate the carbon quantity of each plate. And also, of course, seasonal products. And of course, we are fighting against waste. We look at each plate and we look in our garbage and to check what we can change in our practice to be sure that there is no waste in the plate and no waste in the kitchen when we prepare the menu.
So, to sum up, I have found Paris to be a very open and safe city for travelers. There's great interest in making changes for more sustainability, and there are great things to find beyond the beaten track.
Hi. I would like to have one ginger ale. A bright and warm day has ended in Paris, but the evening is equally beautiful. Remember, if you're visiting Paris or France, then 80% of the activities are actually focused on 20% of the country, which means you have the choice of sticking to mass activities, or you can discover certain new places or lesser known spots in this city.